We're at the Utah Community Credit Center on the beautiful campus of Utah Valley University. Entering tonight's wrestling match, the UVU Wolverines will be dueling the nationally ranked Penn State University Nittany Lions. Coming up next on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Good evening. Welcome. My name is Michael Clapier, along with Sam Allen. We welcome you to the campus of Utah Valley University, where tonight the Wolverines in men's Division I wrestling face the nationally ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. We had a great trip through California last week, Sam.
Awesome trip. Never easy to go on the road, cutting weight, doing all that. We could pick up a big victory over Stanford and... Did I say that right?
Stanford and Cal Poly.
Stanford and Cal Poly. I'm getting them all mixed up because the biggest thing is we pick up wins with those two. You add in the Boise State victory, we're doing pretty well in the Pac-10.
Let's look at our key wrestlers for tonight. Number one at 141 pounds, Brian Piercell from Penn State. Great young developing wrestler, top 30 type wrestler. He will wrestle tonight against our very own Avery Gardner.
Avery Gardner wrestling really tough. Took a chance to come in, step in, and start competing varsity, and really is making a good impact, wrestling tough competition, really tough.
In the next match at 149 pounds, the number one ranked wrestler in America from Penn State, from Penn State, we welcome Frank Molinaro, number one, and he's going to wrestle our junior, our most skilled and experienced wrestler in Josh Wilson. So we're looking forward to that. Molinaro, number one ranked wrestler. Wilson, what do you got to say about him, Sam?
You know, Josh coming up, he's a junior. He knows, okay, I got a couple more years left here. Currently ranked 14th in the nation. Again, UVU's wrestling great competition, and Josh actually picking up big wins over some good competition early in the year, gets him a high ranking this year. So this will be, that's going to be a great matchup tonight.
There's a great connection between Utah Valley and Penn State. Our first coach was Cody Sanderson, the brother of Cale Sanderson. We're now with our second coach. We're a young program. This is only the third year. What does it mean to have a caliber program like Penn State on campus, Sam?
Well, it's huge for UVU as a whole. It's huge for UVU wrestling because to have the number one ranked, number two ranked, there's two polls going out right now, but to have them come to campus, it energizes the program. Not only that, but to see, okay, how is UVU stacking up against the best of the best in the country?
Stay with us. We'll be right back on UVU TV with Penn State and Utah Valley.
Wolverines.
makes you feel the need to pretend to have green fever?
Well, it's totally real, just because I'm different.
I can see the magic marker in your pocket. Well, why don't we focus on ways that you can actually get green fever, like wanting hands-on experience or wanting a degree from UVU that will actually help you in the real world. I think Beverly's made some real progress today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the campus of Utah Valley University, where we welcome you to the first ever meeting between a nationally ranked team as high as Penn State. I like to say they're number one. Some people say they're not quite. What do you say, Sam Allen?
Depending on which ranking system you're looking at, you got a number one and a number two. Regardless, it's huge for Utah Valley to welcome a program such as this to our campus. Exciting stuff going on tonight for sure.
And now I believe we are ready to meet one of the best teams in the country and one of those up-and-coming teams in the country. So we go now to our announcements of our starters tonight as Utah Valley welcomes to Orem, Utah, from Happy Valley to the Valley.
That's
Penn
right.
State, Nittany Lions.
Between the visiting Penn State Nittany Lions and our UVU Wolverines.
125
At 125 pounds from Penn State, ranked 8th nationally, Nico Megaludis versus Utah Valley's Colby Christensen. At 133, Penn State's Frank Martellotti versus Utah Valley freshman Blake Mangum. At 141, Penn State's Brian Piercell versus Utah Valley sophomore Avery Gardner. At 149 pounds from Penn State, ranked number 1 nationally, Frank Molinaro versus Utah Valley, ranked number 14th nationally, Josh Wilson. At 157 pounds from Penn State, ranked 6th nationally, Dylan Alton versus Utah Valley freshman Napoleon Anna-Sieti. At 165 pounds from Penn State, ranked number 1 nationally, David Taylor versus Utah Valley freshman Ethan Smith. At 174 from Penn State, Matt Brown. And from Utah Valley, sophomore Monty Schlehuber. At 184 from Penn State, ranked number 2 nationally, Quentin Wright. And Utah Valley freshman David Peretto. At 197 pounds from Penn State, ranked 12th nationally, Morgan McIntosh versus Utah Valley freshman Brian Chamberlain. And at heavyweight from Penn State, ranked 6th nationally, Cameron Wade versus Utah Valley freshman Dustin Dennison. Head coach of the Nittany Lions is Carol Sanderson. And head coach of our very own UVU Wolverines, Greg Williams. Fans, be ready to cheer on your UVU wrestlers. Each time a UV wrestler gets a pin, t-shirts will be thrown into the stands.
And we have the captains on the floor as they do the coin toss and select choice for beginning of second period. And then we are going to begin our wrestling at 165 pounds. Ethan Smith versus number 1 undefeated, Mr. David Taylor. This is exciting. This is fun. Ethan Smith and David Taylor wrestled together when they were about 10 years old.
Yeah. A lot of these matchups go way, way back, especially with Utah wrestlers that say, you know what, I'm going to go back east, I'm going to go other parts of the country to get these big matches.
And there are two Utah connections on the Penn State team. David Taylor's one of them. When David was about 10 years old, he lived in Evanston, Wyoming.
Yep.
And his father would journey from Evanston to Salt Lake City to wrestle with the TAC Wrestling Club. And that was coached by Jed Jones and Yvonne Ivanoff. And Yvonne is now in Boise wrestling or coaching a development program for the Olympic team. And so some of those roots are coming back, and we're getting a chance to see David Taylor against Ethan.
Yep. And we're underway here. Hand fighting, you know, is interesting. I saw Ivan Ivanoff on the Martha Stewart show of all places a couple weeks ago. He was on for strength training exercises that he does with the developmental team.
Well, Taylor's a lot of fun because he's long. He creates a lot of motion.
Nice shot here.
Good job in on that low single. Picks that up, takes him down, scores there. Now Ethan needs to get away from that. That's going to be a challenge. David's very relaxed, very confident with what he's doing, able to make a lot of things happen. Was undefeated going into the NCAAs last year as a pure freshman.
Yes.
Ended up second, and now he's undefeated in the same place as we go into the end of the season now. Gives the one, lets Ethan come up.
Front headlock position here for Ethan Smith. Ethan transfer actually this year from program back east, Purdue, and taking the spot here for Utah Valley.
And there again, Ethan is from the same high school that Cale Sanderson is from. So a lot of fun things to talk about, a lot of things to be aware of. It's a beautiful sport, a lot of cross-reference, cross-training, and cross applications to one another as we increase and make things happen and get better and better. But David Taylor, truly one of the gifted athletes in the sport, and he's making it look easy as he takes Ethan down for his second time and a 4-1 score.
Really nice single leg there. Now he's riding tough with a high half, and tough position to be in as you're on bottom, to have a guy constant on the hips and with a high half there. Kind of doesn't matter which way you go, opportunity for tilt and near fall position for the top man. So Ethan's doing a good job here, wants to get both arms underneath that leg and bring it out over his head.
Trying to adjust to that. David's maintaining that, pretty relaxed. It's always been impressive about me as I watched him last year, just how relaxed and calm he is about what's going on and how easily he works from the positions.
1 minute left here in the first period. Scores 4-1.
We'll come back to the center. I see David looking over to the table. Going to come with an optional start. Lets him go for a release. 4-2 is our score. We're on our feet with 54 seconds remaining in the first round of the first match. Here again, nice easy pick. That's a Cale Sanderson looking takedown there.
That was out of the book of Cale Sanderson right there, that ankle pick.
2 down, 1 back. We're 6-3. Taylor in again on another shot. Trying to make this one work from the edge. Picks that up while he keeps his feet in. Scoring 2. 8-3. Optional start.
Shot finally. This
nice
good.
Shot in by Smith. Scrambling through, coming to the back. Steps in, Ethan settles in, and there's a fall. He just makes it look easy. That's amazing.
Makes it look too easy there.
And Ethan is a good wrestler. Ethan Smith's a great wrestler. That's a nice job.
Good job.
Good takedown. Nice chance to see David Taylor. Now we're going to head for a commercial break. We'll be back. You're watching Penn State on UVU TV versus the Wolverines.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician, a mechanic, or a scientist. Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
We are watching wrestling, Utah Valley versus Penn State, as we watch #1 ranked David Taylor of Penn State make it look way easy against a quality sophomore. That puts him up 6-0. First match is finished. We put it in the books. We move on to 174 pounds. There's a good story here. Stepping on the mat for Penn State, a Utah wrestler.
Yep, that's right. Matt Brown from West Valley City, Utah, was recruited out of high school to go and wrestle there at Penn State. Cool enough. I got to tell you, UVU presence here in the state. It's great that we have a program here so that we don't lose our wrestlers to programs like this. Hopefully keep all of the best here in Utah.
And there's a corollary story as we watch Matt Brown and Monty Schmalhaus. Monty Schmalhaus wrestled in high school at Tooele, Utah, and Matt wrestled for Cypress High School in Salt Lake City, West Valley, as you mentioned there, Sam. But there is a correlating program or a correlating concept here, and that is the desire and the need to keep your good local wrestlers and create opportunity for them at the Division I place. And that's what happened when Cale Sanderson went to Penn State. I was visiting with a Penn State fan earlier tonight, and they said they looked at the national qualifiers as they went to the NCAA Division I tournament, and over half of those, consistently, over half of those wrestlers were Pennsylvania wrestlers.
Exactly.
And so they're looking at those guys go to the Iowa State, the Iowa, and the Minnesota, and these other places, and they're saying, what can we do? So they bring Cale Sanderson in for the recruiting of what he can do to bring to the table. Well, we saw the same thing at Utah when we brought Utah wrestling back and put this program together 9 years ago. We're the first program to be reinstated in wrestling in Division I level in about 40 years. And so we're excited to see that, but it's for the same reason, so that our Utah wrestlers, and we produce great wrestlers here, and our development program is getting even better with a closer relationship with Wrestling Utah USA, which was started by Cale's father, Steve Sanderson, or there's let me remind me to tell you that story later, but there's a good working relationship there, and so that's where they come from. These guys don't just show up. As we talked about David Taylor earlier, and we're watching, we have no score. There's a nice shot by Matt.
Schmalhaus has a whizzer scramble position here. Kind of an interesting under the head, but Schmalhaus still has a whizzer sitting back on the head. Referee go ahead and award that 2-point takedown.
Well, there again, he does a nice job once in on the single of locking the hip, localizing that motion, establishing control, and then coming over to the other ankle and bringing that in. That gets him to one. Now he's into a 2-on-1, looking to make that happen. And Schmalhaus trying to bring up, needs to get the hands and trying to make something work for him as he goes further there. But getting back to that conversation we were just having, keeping those local guys here, that's what we did at Utah Valley. And now, so we had to take 6 years in a probationary state before we could start going to the national level. Now that we're at the national level, we had our first All-American last year.
Exactly.
Ben Kerr is now wrestling for the Olympic team, or working to get his shot. He's actually in Kiev, Ukraine right now, working to get his opportunity at the Olympic level. And we've got the coaching,
Cody Sanderson started our program for 3 years. Then Greg's come in. This is Greg's 6th year. Casey Rock, his assistant. So we've got the caliber of coaching that we need. We're bringing in some more people. But we've got to build our own tradition. So you're looking at Penn State, 80, 90, 100 years of wrestling tradition. Utah Valley, 3 years of national level. But we had a great recruiting class. And so in the room, we have some great young men, and Schmalhouse is one of those. And so to be able to bring in the caliber of what goes on at Penn State's level and see it, but we're watching 2 Utah products wrestle, one in the green for Utah Valley, one in the blue for Penn State.
Into the first round, and it is UVU's decision. Schmalhouse chooses down in the second round. Score is 2-0.
We're watching this takedown now. Pay attention to what takes place as they go to the mat. Now Matt comes over, cover the hips. Now we're going back to live action. As we come back, we're coming up. Schmalhouse scores the one, so we got a 2-1 match. Now we'll see if we can secure the takedown.
Shot in there by Schmalhouse.
Brown was a tough wrestler in high school, 3-time state champion in Utah. There again, nice, simple wrestling, good motion on top. How'd he set that up?
You know, there's a lot to be said even about small pressure changes. Both wrestlers, Monty and Matt Brown, push, and a small change can open up a big opening. And he just dropped a level. Nice double
level
leg
change into the double. Now he's working to see if he can create a. Right now he's looking kind of for a pin or a cradle situation. That doesn't seem to develop. So he's going to let it go. There we go. We're back to 4-2 now.
Something for the viewers to watch, and this is a East Coast style. It's actually something UVU really tries to work on, is heavy hands. Watch these Penn State wrestlers, how heavy, even from the moment they break. You know, Schmalhouse had scored an escape right there. Matt Brown, heavy hands right on his head, right on his neck, that will wear a guy out.
Well, and you see that as his neck gets bowed, as opposed to changing levels and maintaining his own position. There again, heavy on the head, opens a nice shot. Pressing now to a back position. Got to step over and cover the hips. Official indicating no control just yet. We're in a
nothing yet there.
And there he switches hips. Nice hip heist to a change position. Comes back behind and takes control of the hips. That scores him 2. We're now looking at a 6-2 score in favor of Penn State as we wind it down. Last 3-2, and there's the buzzer, and that ends it. 6-2 in favor of Penn State's Matt Brown. Coach Williams' direction to Schmalhouse is just what you said, Sam. Keep fighting the hands.
Yep.
The entry to the attack of the hips is through the hands.
And a lot of times it's going to be the wrestler that Brown chooses down right there, and ends up scoring a reversal there. It's about who's going to get to it first. When you're talking about, when you're on our feet and we're talking about fighting hands, watch this. Immediately heavy hands, he's got his hands on him. It's about who's going to make that contact first. And if not, you can break out, get a fresh start. Who's going to make contact first? Schmalhouse does a good job at that this second time. Heavy hands there. Schmalhouse is looking to return the favor.
You'll see the difference in hands by what happens with the head. Is Schmalhouse able to keep his back straight and his back bowed? Or does he? Now he did a nice job of defending there, and he's getting the front headlock position. Not able to do that. Matt, a relentless attack, constant. No takedown yet. Schmalhouse got a leg, trying to battle there. But there again, now we're seeing that Eastern style of better mat wrestling. Matt Brown's not concerned about the knee too much yet. There he's trying to break it out, reaching around into that cradle situation, locking the hands up there. And the takedown is scored. Cradle situation locked up. Now he's working to see if he can make a 10.
That cradle for that near fall pin position. But right here, there's a balance between, okay, I gotta.
He's got the leg up.
This is Schmalhouse fighting to
post
nasty.
Up
and do his best to stay off that back.
This can get bad quick, because when he gets that leg up on the hip, legs locked, leg up on the hip.
He's going
Monty's doing a good job of hanging on. Now he's in criteria. He's getting the count, trying to hold the back two. Monty kicks through. That's a nice job, Smallhouse. Matt Brown, Penn State picks up 2. Monty comes up, can't get away. Brown's got to build on that base, can't stay down there low. Building up, now to a single leg position as we end, Matt. And that finishes it.
Final score of 13-3 with that riding time point.
And we welcome you to stay with us. Don't go away, more action right here on UVU TV.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician, a mechanic, or a scientist. Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
You're watching Division I Wrestling as we look at 174 pounds. 2 Utah wrestlers, one wearing green, one wearing blue. The Penn State wrestler wins it and scores that.
Right there, the replay, especially in a cradle position, that's a hard position to fight out of. Schmalhouse did a good job. He did get turned, but immediately kicking, working on that hand lock, actually was able to break that out and avoid a pinning combination there.
And now we go to 184 pounds. Quentin Wright, a junior from Penn State. David Peretto, a redshirt freshman from Utah Valley. And we'll see what Utah Valley can get done in this one.
Nice shot there by David.
Beautiful shot. Nice counter. Scramble.
Still scramble position.
Nice.
He locked those legs up. I think if he can lock those legs up, we can work something here.
Good toss by Penn State. That was good action. Penn State used to it. You know, it amazes me how well Division I guys can wrestle on the mat. I love that part of the game. I used to be I'm an old freestyle kind of background with my kids. Yeah. I like to see on the feet, but you know what? Great mat scrambles are pretty fun to watch. And we saw one right there.
Is a quick shoulder hug tilt. Quentin Wright looking to put some pressure on the neck and expose those shoulders.
Quentin Wright currently ranked number 2. I like the fact that Peretto went out and didn't get intimidated by that ranking. It all went right after him.
Went at it. And here's the thing, and I see this all the time. And as a wrestler, I experience it, and I think UVU sees it, especially with our young team this year. Is you're wrestling good competition, and sometimes I won't call it starstruck, but you're going, oh my heck, I'm wrestling a Penn State, or I'm wrestling an Iowa or Oklahoma or whatever it is. These guys, They're wrestlers just like you are. They work hard day in and day out. We all have the same opportunity, and sometimes you catch a bad guy on a bad day, number one, or number two, you find out what you're really made of and can really show, hey, I can compete with the top competition, top level in the nation here.
And it'll be interesting. I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to ask this question of Coach Williams in the post-show. How do you get that consistency? One is you got to have the talent in the room. There's a nice reversal. Good job, Utah Valley. Ends up 2, almost had 1, almost had the reversal, we got the 2. But the consistency comes from the level of partners in the room, so you got to have that talent pool. That talks about recruiting. And then you've got to have the guys get to that top level and then stay there and know that that's where they've got to stay. And what I think we're seeing here as we wrestle, clearly a great wrestling team, but I think we see those bridges between where we have flashes of brilliance as opposed to consistent application of really, really solid wrestling. I think that's what I'm seeing here as I watch the difference between the two programs.
And I think you've hit it spot on. That takes, there's a ton of elements that make that, and that can change that. It can change with a recruiting class. It definitely stems from your coaching staff, and UVU's coaching staff with Coach Williams at the helm. The expectation is there, and the qualifications are there. We have a great coaching staff here into the first round.
You see, I saw Peretto wrestle last night. I didn't see that kind of flash, that kind of shot, that kind of quick.
Well, and that's just it. I think, you know, it's believing that I can do. David is a specimen. He's strong, he's young, he's fast, he's an athletic 184-pound wrestler. And I got to tell you, it's saying, you know what, I can athletically perform, use my athletic ability through all 3 rounds, all 7 minutes of this match.
Peretto, part of that great Las Vegas contingency, and that goes there again with the recruiting. Not only there's no school in Nevada that has a wrestling team, and so
those guys are all up for
so Nevada wrestlers are looking at us. There we go, nice blast double
straight on. That just shows that explosiveness of Quentin Wright there.
And that was level change, create motion, and look for that opportunity, and then go get it. But I think David is representing himself well. But you look at the surrounding area, Nevada, they don't have a D1 program. Boise State in Idaho. Wyoming's got a program. We're in their league. We battle with them. 2 programs in Colorado, Northern Colorado, Arizona, Air Force. And so you start looking at that. Wyoming has a program. Montana, nothing. We picked up 2 great recruits out of Montana this year. So you talk to that good youth level and that ability to bring those kids in, because we've got to be able to get consistently there. Now watch Penn State. Totally cool about it. He's commanding an 8-2 lead, even though Peretto's made 2 great shots, a couple of 3 really nice moves, but he's not yet developing that consistency. Of course, he's wrestling the number 2 ranked kid in the country.
Putting them all together is important. There's not a lot of setup there, and Quentin Wright steps in. David actually snags up his leg and tries a throw here. Throws him right to his back. David's fighting here.
And there's a fall.
Fall by Quentin Wright. Nice job.
I thought that was a great effort. I was excited about the fact that Peretto wasn't afraid of him, that he went out there, he took it to him. He wasn't afraid, and one of the great things, they waited. And this is what a class act Wright is. Wright waited until they were eye to eye, and they looked at each other, and both wrestlers nodded their head and said, yeah. You look at that powerful takedown right to the back, right to that pinning combination. But at the end of the time, Peretto gained the respect of his opponent. Even though we lost that match, I like how we represented, and I like how we got out there and took the shots. We're next up at 197 pounds. Number 12 ranked, a freshman, Morgan McIntosh, wrestling for Penn State, and he's up against our freshman. There again, we're young. Brian Chamberlain. What do you like about Brian and what he's been able to put together this year, Sam?
I give a nickname to all the incoming freshmen that are just young, specimen, strong, athletic, man beast. That's all I could say about Brian Chamberlain. He is strong, and you know, as far as technique, got a lot to learn. He's stepping on the mat. A lot of the recruited highly recruited athletes that, some of them straight out of Pennsylvania that go to Penn State. They've had extensive national competition where they've wrestled the best in high school from across the nation. So to match up, they can step in as a freshman. I mean, Morgan McIntosh already as a freshman ranked number 12. So Chamberlain getting some lumps, learning a lot this year about who he is himself, and competing well.
I think you've hit on a really good thing, talking about it. You got to wrestle the best to be the best. It's about competition that defines you. And McIntosh is a freshman, but he's out of Calvary Chapel, which is a private school in California. And California is one of only 3 states that has a winner-take-all state championship in high school. The CIF, California Interscholastic Federation, they sponsor the final tournament of the year, and they take anyone, any size school, winner-take-all, and that he's from that kind of a program. Calvary Chapel consistently in the top with their program. Great coach Acevedo, Rick Acevedo is their coach there. They do a nice job getting these kids ready to come in and work at that program and be ready for that kind of competition. So they come in, and even though he's stepping up to the D1 program, he's able to step in and compete there.
Exactly.
And he's actually a number 12 ranked kid right now as a pure freshman, and he's in that Penn State lineup.
I always felt like, Utah has 5 state champions for all 5 school size qualifications, and there have been rumors around the state. Oh, nice job by Chamberlain. Comes around, scores a takedown. That's a nice job by Brian Chamberlain. Heavy on the head after a shot.
That's a 2-1 exchange right there for Chamberlain.
McIntosh gets right back up on his feet. But there have been rumors across the state. Oh, referee says, a little rough there. Let's take a little time out. I want to talk to you guys. Let's cool it out.
Wright says he came in hard with a headbutt. I came back with a pommel, and it's a physical game. If you're uninitiated, now this crowd's not. This crowd loves wrestling. That's why they're watching. But to the uninitiated, you don't realize how much power is going on in that initial contact with the hands. And you talked about heavy hands and pressure on the head. They're both matching up pretty well when you get to the side view and look at what's going on. Both bodies of wrestlers are staying in pretty much the same position. McIntosh not able to necessarily really bow the back, although he got a good hit there and able to drop that head.
Really heavy
That's
hands.
what you look at. Look at that battle in there. That's a good start. That's a 2-1 battle. Official looking at Brian Chamberlain. Chamberlain said, let's go down on the mat.
Coach Rock from Utah Valley University, he would say oftentimes, wrestling is an aggressive sport. It's a tough sport. It's a fist fight with rules.
Fist fight with rules.
Fist fight with rules.
And here we go.
Chamberlain's right up on his feet, which is good. As
and
a wrestler, nice escape there.
That gets him a 3-1 lead in the second round. Now we'll see if we can match physical for physical.
Watch these heavy hands. Watch as they push and pull.
I like that overview shot. We're looking at those guys come in and engage. They're both evenly spaced. So what you want to do is you want to try to create an angle which gives you a distance, so you don't have to go the long way, which is from here to there, but a shorter way. If I can move you and get your hips, your feet closer to me, then that gives me advantage on that shot as I try to get that takedown. Nice shot.
Right in the
nice shot,
double.
Chamberlain. And a good counter by McIntosh, but I like how Chamberlain's out there getting at it.
I got to tell you, at the highest level of Division I, and we're seeing it here with Penn State coming to town tonight, nothing is ever given up. And you got to look at Brian Chamberlain's position there's no better position you could be in. He shot a nice blast double. His head was inside, right on his chest. He's driving through. And when I say nothing is given up, there is a last-ditch effort by McIntosh.
Nice down block. Nice down block by Chamberlain. Stops that shot. And you're right, as they go to the mat, as they fall that, if we can get that back into a cue, you fall back as they're going back. High school wrestlers just fall into the mat. Penn State wrestlers moving, creating motion. Don't give it. Nice job. Get ready for the shot. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 action. Beautiful wrestling. Now these positions. I talked with Coach Williams before. He said it's these important positions that we're not skilled yet. We're not where we want to be in terms of being able to win those positions. 4 seconds left. Chamberlain trying to hang on to that elbow, not give it up. That's a good job. End of 2. Utah Valley up 3-1. The crowd's liking it. We're looking at good wrestling.
Good wrestling. McIntosh from Penn State chooses down in the 3rd round.
2 minutes to go. See if Chamberlain can put us on the board here. But Coach Williams is saying it's those positions we've got to consistently battle in those places. And he says, I thought we were pretty good. I thought we were pretty much there. And then we took the road trip. And then we beat Cal State. We beat Stanford, Cal Poly and Stanford. And then we come back and we get a little flat. He says, so we got to get in the room Monday, and we got to fix that.
Well, and that's the thing. I had a similar conversation with Coach Williams after the match last night, and I thought the guys looked a little flat. And one of the things too that we just saw with Brian Chamberlain here, being young, coming into Division I, I think you don't realize how tough it is to really ride tough.
And there again, experience and time get you into that level.
Exactly.
There again, nice stop. Get the hips away.
Nice shot there. Brian Chamberlain does a good job at down blocking. This is a match where takedown is going to kind of settle the score. Chamberlain is up 3-2.
Well, and we need to not give one up or get one. We're into the last minute of the match. It's a 3-2 match. Utah Valley in front.
Number 12 ranked Morgan McIntosh. This would be quite
give that up. Oh, don't take a bad shot. That's young. That's young. You didn't need to take that shot. Now we got 47. We got to get out of there. We didn't need to take that shot, but he did. Got extended. There again, McIntosh continuing to wrestle, continuing to come back around. He scores that 2. Now he's protecting a 1-point lead as we come into the last seconds. Chamberlain comes to his feet, kicks over, not able to get it. We're on the edge of the mat. Coming back in center, 24 seconds. Both wrestlers giving it a good battle. What are you thinking as you're walking in if you're Brian Chamberlain?
Well, you got to understand, 24 seconds, 25 seconds is plenty of time to get up and out.
The crowd's into it. They're behind him. They're saying, let's get it done.
Looking for an explosion right off the whistle here. Chamberlain's up to his feet. Going for a return. Chamberlain's moving. Drops down to a leg.
He's in a good place. He's got 15 seconds. He's got to get the foot on the mat. Got to get away. Now he's got to come up. Can't stay there. Where's that warning? There it is. 6 seconds. And he stops it. 7 seconds. 6.8. Got 7 seconds to get out of there. You've got to improve. Penn State's hanging on. 7 seconds.
6, 7 seconds. Plenty of time. I'll say that with 2 seconds.
Utah Valley down 1.
Look for explosion here. Brian right up to his feet. To his feet. Granby roll here.
And the clock's going to beat it, but that's a good job. That's a good job.
Nice job.
That's staying at it. We have seen the beginning of Utah Valley and what we will become. We'll be back. You're watching UVU TV.
what makes you feel the need to pretend to have green fever?
Well, it's totally real. Just because I'm different.
I can see the magic marker in your pocket.
Well, why don't we focus on ways that you can actually get green fever, like wanting hands-on experience or wanting a degree from UVU that will actually help you in the real world. I think Beverly's made some real progress today.
Utah Valley Wrestling, we're watching 197 pounds as Utah Valley's Brian Chamberlain puts a blast double together on Morgan McIntosh. Great challenge, great action. Penn State back in on another one. That was a 4-3 match won by Penn State, but we were there together. It was a beautiful try. Even though the score is 19-0, I'm pretty encouraged by what I see going on.
I gotta make a comment about. I think there's a lot to be said about going out and believing. Okay, listen, you're going against the number 1, number 2 ranked team here in the nation. We go out of bounds.
And now we're looking as we watch the heavyweights. Number 6, Cameron Wade from Penn State, and his opponent. He's a senior, and he's wrestling our freshman, Dustin Dennison, and a lot of difference in size and body there. But I like Dennison. He's always a get-at-it fight kind of guy. There's not a back off, but he's giving up some weight.
Well, yeah, that's where you see just the difference.
Wade's a big man.
Big man. Calls him out of bounds.
So what? I'm sure Wade's pushing everything of 285. What does Dennison's about 240?
Yeah, I talked to the guys and I said, how big is he? And I've heard 240 and 220. So
smaller.
Let's just say
than
that.
Cameron Wade. Well, top-ranked heavyweight, putting the weight, knows how to use the weight. Got the arm bar, looking in for the squeeze.
Man, this is a tough position with those legs in. Body scissor and then a tough half Nelson here. So he goes and secures that near fall, and then starts moving for that fall position. Heavyweight here.
And
referee calls a quick pin.
Yeah, they don't take long. College only 1, isn't it?
2 seconds, gotta go 1-2.
That was quick. That's all right, it was there. Nice job by Mr. Dennison. We invite you to stay with us. We're watching Division I Wrestling on the UVU TV network.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Every match is gone. This is not Division I wrestling we're watching at this time. This is
Sumo.
crowd entertainment. Even though the score represents a nationally ranked team versus a young program, we have seen every match go all the way except the last one, which was a quick fall in the first round in the heavyweights. But other than that, every match has been a complete match. I'm proud of what I see out of Utah Valley. We're now at 125 pounds, where freshman Nico Megaludis comes on, currently ranked number 1, and his opponent, Colby Christensen, a redshirt freshman. Colby can give this kid a go. We should see some good action here.
I agree. Colby Christensen coming in, just a tough kid, tough wrestler. Got a lot to prove, lot to move and learn.
Well, there again, the quality of opponent allows you to improve yourself and get better. Penn State's comfortable with the top level. That's what they do. Their whole program, their whole competition, their whole schedule keeps them in that environment. And as Cale said, Cale Sanderson, when he was asked, about coming out here and supporting us, he said, well, there's just not that many programs. I mean, there's 11 Division I programs in Pennsylvania alone. And so if you want to see college wrestling, it's pretty easy to get there in a not too long a drive.
Yeah.
Well, if we want to see college wrestling, we got to go to Wyoming, we got to go to Boise. We didn't have a place here when BYU dropped their program. So it's a lot of distance to get. And so he said, by putting on a good big event, that helps wrestling. It helps our program, it helps what we're trying to develop, but it's good for the sport. And Cale, always a class act. That's part of why he supported bringing his guys out here.
Quick takedown there. Christensen's able to, we get out of bounds, restart. He gets a quick escape, and to kind of tag off your comment there. You look at Penn State's schedule the last even few weeks. Number 17 Northwestern, number 2 Iowa, number 5 Ohio State, and just Penn State has won in a very impressive fashion. This is a tough squad. This is a fantastic squad.
Look at the total points in that list. They've scored how many to how many?
Well, for example, Northwestern 38-3, Iowa, number 2 ranked Iowa, so this is number 1, number 2 in the nation, 22-12, number 5 Ohio State, 34-9, go just last week against number 7 Nebraska, 31-6. I mean, these aren't just winning, 1 or 2 matches going down to the last match. This is impressive wins against top competition. So
Northwestern won a match.
Yes, and that's the thing. You're looking at 1 or 2 guys out of all 10 of your lineup are winning a match against Penn State, and I mean UVU. We got some great matchups tonight. There's still possibility for that. Brian Chamberlain almost pulled out a win over number 12 ranked Morgan McIntosh with a last. This went down to the last of the last third round.
We're watching action at 125 pounds. Colby Christensen versus Nico Megaludis. 2-1. 6-3 is our score, with 53 seconds remaining. 3 takedowns, 3 escapes, quick.
You see the power of the hands, the setup. You see that transitions into a lot of open opportunities for shots and takedowns, and Penn State quite confident on wrestling on their feet. You see a lot of their guys tonight getting the takedown, saying, okay, well, I'll let him go. I'll see what I can do, setting up and working takedown again, rack up those points.
Well, and beginning from the takedown sequence to the mat, sometimes you can score bigger by going back to your feet. So we're seeing that a lot.
Christensen's back up on his feet.
Nico decides to drop to the ankles, seeing if he can make something happen from that standpoint. Comfortable lead, 8-3, as we count down the last 6 seconds in the first round. Out of bounds, come back in, 6 seconds remaining. The thing that's encouraging for me is that Coach Williams and Coach Rock, they're not seeing anything they don't understand. They're not seeing anything they can't get us to. But you can't compete with a Penn State until you have the talent of a Penn State. And there's the end of the first round. 8-3 in favor of Penn State. Optional start by Nico. gives up 1, 8-4. Back in that battle for takedowns.
I can't stress this enough. It's important as a wrestler to wrestle this caliber and at this level of competition. We get to do it. UVU goes to the Cliff Keenan Invitational in Las Vegas, one of the toughest tournaments. We go to the Midlands tournament. That's, they say, is tougher than the national tournament because you get guys from all different schools.
It's a pure open tournament.
All open, yeah. So you get guys from every division. But I got to tell you, you get to see where you're at. UVU has grown. They've even had big growth this year. And nice shot.
Nice
there.
little duck to a single leg finish. Quick.
No takedown yet. Christensen steps over the top and looking. Referee says, you know what, we're not going to go anywhere there. Let's call a stalemate, get you guys back up.
Sure, no sense taking any chance on knees at this point in the season. Nico, a freshman out of Murraysville, Pennsylvania, Franklin Regional High School. There again, one of those talents that before Cale Sanderson, he could have been looking at an Iowa. Because to come into the freshman, be a top 10 ranked wrestler coming into the Nationals in a few weeks.
You've proved yourself on a lot of levels there.
And that's a talent that was getting recruited away. And in fact, last year was Coach's first year, Coach Sanderson's first year. And the word was, you know, we're there. We like who we've got. We like our recruiting. We're going to be solid. Look to us. And they walked into the NCAA and walked through the NCAA.
You know, and I said this last year when I saw how dominant Penn State was, and they continued that this year. Cale Sanderson, as a wrestler, for those of you listening, had a college career undefeated. That just, it's never happened before. He's a two-time Hodge Trophy winner, which was the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. Nice shot here. Christensen fighting, but misses it. So he wins that, goes undefeated, goes to the Olympics, wins an Olympic medal. And I'm thinking, what can he not do? What has he not done? Oh, he's going to coach a Division I program, takes Penn State and wins a national championship.
And he did a nice job. He had Iowa State moving in the right direction. And the Penn State, as they said, they looked at their qualifiers. They said, we got to get more of these kids staying home. Who's the guy that can make that happen? Cale Sanderson. We're watching the hand fight. We got 1:52 in the last round. Comfortable lead for Penn State's Nico Megaludis at 12-5. At this point, Colby needs to make something work. Nico's controlled him from every position so far.
And you're right. In a situation like this, you go, okay, I want to stay in good position, but what do I got to do to just open something up? And he does a good job of being tough there, getting heavy off of a blocked shot. He down blocks and pushes right back in.
But a quick recovery by Megaludis, not going to stay on the hip, not going to let something happen.
Yep.
There again, that's the Division I difference. Even junior college or Division II, Division III, sometimes that wrestler would stay there, but not that cat-like quick change, adjust, don't stay, improve, constantly move. That's why it's so exciting and fun to watch this caliber here in town at our own home meet. Nice little throw by there, scores the 2. Extending that lead to 14-5 with 46 seconds remaining. Colby's up again. Nico likes to stay on his feet. Scores another 2. Up comes Colby. Tries it again. Colby needs to get heavier.
We're out of bounds.
Slow that down. Slow those heads down.
And this style of wrestling, it's grueling. It can really get you tired out, and because you're constant shot, heavy hands, let you go, heavy hands, shot. It can really wear you out.
Well, and even when we wrestled Cal Poly or Stanford or Boise State, not like this. Not like this. 1 or 2 of their guys, but not like this. And it defines. The thing that's great about wrestling is I can see where I'm at, and that defines where I need to go. And if I'll pay attention to that, there that ends it. We're heading to break. We'll be back. You're watching Utah Valley battle the #1 or #2 team in the country, Penn State. Stay with us. Utah Valley Wrestling on UVU TV.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician? A mechanic? Or a scientist? Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
It's Division I wrestling on the campus of Utah Valley University. Penn State, currently one of the top teams in the country. They're leading by score 29-0, but the score does not reflect all the action, nor does it reflect the potential of what's happening at Utah Valley. You have to remember we're a young program, only our third year with the ability to compete at the national level. And so I'm pretty pleased with what I see. Even though we're losing matches, we're in them. There's only been one fall so far tonight. Every match complete, our guys are battling. I like that. We're at 133 pounds, a sophomore from Penn State, Frank Martellotti, and he's gonna wrestle Blake Mangum, a redshirt freshman. And so we're now back to live action. Another Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native landed on that roster for coaches Sanderson and Sanderson. Blake Mangum, state champ. Blake Mangum, state champ out of Heber City. Heber City, home high school of Coach Sanderson and Sanderson. What is this, hierarchy? It's like great horses. It's pedigrees.
Yeah, well, I got, you know, Heber City, Wasatch High School has always been, I remember, I think I was 4th or 5th grade, and it was the first big tournament I went to was at Wasatch, and I wrestled some of the toughest kids, and I thought, oh, I don't know if wrestling, I'm cut out for wrestling, because they were tough, but
and they knew what they were doing too.
Oh yeah, they were good, and so definitely start them young there and build up, and that's why you get such a, you know, there have been a lot of really fantastic wrestlers come out of Wasatch High School.
The Sandersons need to be congratulated. In 1984, in the Summer Olympics, all of the smaller sports, of course, wrestling, taekwondo, boxing, the Olympics in Los Angeles were so successful that all the smaller sports were given $1 million endowment, and USA Wrestling was the organization with the mandate, as we watch 133 pounders, the USA Wrestling was given the mandate to develop the sport. Well, Coach Sanderson was coaching and teaching. He's an administrator in the classroom, and now he's an administrator. But he had 3 boys, Cole, Cody, Cale,
and there's one more, Kyler.
And Kyler. But he had 3 boys, and he started wrestling them. And a lot of the great things that were developed and started in Utah, the Sandersons had a huge contribution to that. Over the years, Utah Wrestling, the freestyle programs, the Greco programs, he would take those 3 boys. They would travel all over the country. They've been national champions since they were 10 and 12, 11 years old. And so with that kind of momentum, with that kind of pedigree, that's what they brought to Utah Wrestling. And so that's been a huge success, a huge part of building what we have here. So when we talk about these quality kids that have been leaving, that was part of our ability to bring a program back, was to say we need to stop the flow and let some of these kids stay here.
Exactly.
Same story at Penn State, but we're just we're a little younger in that process. We're going to develop. We're seeing good things tonight, even though we're not winning the matches. We're battling in those matches. But our next 3 most even should be these 3 coming up. So here we go. 133. We're into the last 25 seconds of the first round with no score. So Blake's holding his own. Blake's doing a nice job against Frank Martellotti.
Well, and something to keep in mind too is hopefully as the years go on, we can do a home and home agreement with Penn State, and I think the coaching staff from Penn State, being from the state of Utah, I think they like that idea. Help out West here with bringing great competition.
Well, we go one round with no score. That's a good place to be. That settles it for us. We need to go to the second round. Penn State's got choice. They go down. There we go. Look at Coach Sanderson. And it looks like we've got a bit of a stall time or take care of an injury at blood time. There's Coach Williams in the corner. Coach Greg Williams. Greg came to us through Utah State. His assistant Casey Rock. That's the heart and soul of our coaching staff right now. They're attending to Blake, making sure he's okay, not spotted with any of that liquid, that body fluid. And Coach Williams, Coach Rock. Greg was an All-American at Utah State and national champion in his development years. Casey was an All-American for Boise State, state champion here in Utah. So they bring it. Casey was an assistant at Wyoming. And Greg actually was the club coach and developed some of the best wrestlers. Justin Reese, currently a world team member, was one of Coach Williams' proteges, as well as a number of really qualified wrestlers that have done good things. Here we are on our feet. Escape is the only score. Penn State was able to get away on the initial start from the first round. We're a minute 36 remaining in round 2. And let's watch Blake Mangum see if he can create opportunity. I like how Blake's wrestling. He's just back from an LDS mission, so he's still getting in shape, but he's doing some nice things.
Blake does a good job. He's a smaller, compact wrestler, short and stocky, but he wrestles tough as far as not giving open positions because he's so low to the ground. It's hard to wrestle that. Nice, powerful shot. But
down blocked well by Penn State. Stopped back. Utah Valley trying to look for opportunity. Like to get one. Like to get the takedown, earn 2 here before we run out. We got 45 seconds remaining in the second round.
Again, when you get to that head-to-head collar, ear-to-ear tie, collar tie, you got to really work hard to get lower, change a position, and get an angle. If not, you're going to be shooting straight on, and it's easy to feel, watch, and see, and be able to down block, stuff those shots.
10 seconds.
Nice elbow pass there, but
we've seen the hand fight. We've seen the level of intensity drop off a little bit. I think everybody else was matching what Penn State was doing. There's a shot right at the buzzer, doesn't do anything. We got a 1-point match. Mangum's going to take the down position, see if he can even it up with an escape. 1-0, third round at 133 pounds. Utah Valley versus Penn State.
Mangum comes up to tripod, push back to his feet. Now we're on the mat in a crab ride. Pull back over and tough with that hand fight there.
Well, there again, that Eastern influence. They like to wrestle on the mat. We like to be on our feet more in Utah anyway. We've got to step up our ability to match that. Blake's got to his feet. Now he needs to control hands. Keep hips low, control hands, come back, looking for it. Not yet. Battle, turn in. Fight hands, legs away. Fight hands. And he comes back down with a 2. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Still control, steps over, gets behind the shoulders, over the legs, behind the shoulders. Crowd wants the reversal.
Both arms are underneath. Generally, you could show that you got a bit of control because you can put both hands behind his armpits, but ref says, you know what, we still got
stalemate it, blows it, stalemates it. Crowd didn't like it. Crowd didn't like it. Blake's gonna get it though. That was good. Blake's gonna get it. Glanced over at both coaches. Both coaches signaling catch the left wrist. Right together. One heartbeat over there. Cody Sanderson, Cale Sanderson. Blake up again. And there's one. Now we're even. 40 seconds. We're even now. We need a takedown.
You got to look, though. Riding time is a factor here. Penn State here was able to ride him out for about 1:30. So you got to know that the riding time is a factor.
25.
Score really is 2-1.
We need 2. There he's in.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Blake, finish it. Finish it. There's 2. Run it. There's 2. 15 seconds. Now we need the ride. 10 seconds. Hang on, hang on. 6 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a W.
Nice job for Blake Mangum. Nice.
Riding time. That's a win for Utah Valley.
Stay
we'll
with
see
us.
You. Do not go away.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Utah Valley gets back on the boards with the win.
Right at the last second, nice high C shot. Brings it up over his head, elevates it. Actually able to come around, keep those legs split, scores a takedown, rides him out. He still had a good amount of time where Penn State was able to say, okay, I still got 15 seconds or so. Blake Mangum does a great job at riding him out to secure a victory.
3-1 makes it happen. That puts us on the board. Team scored 29, Penn State, 3 Utah Valley. Crowd loved it. It's what we came to see. We've really done a good job because we are competitive. Even though we're not winning them, we're competitive. This is the best team, or one of the best teams. I still think it's the best team in the country.
Man, you see the intent. It's intense. And you had mentioned in one of the earlier matches that there's a sense of control and that everything is calm, but the heavy hands. And here's a highlighted match with Avery Gardner going against Brian Piercell. Avery wrestling tough this year against some good competition, right at the placing level, right outside.
We didn't have to do that
goes
early.
For a throw, but slips that head.
Piercell, one of those great Pennsylvania wrestlers. He's at home at Penn State. KC's out, Avery hit that throw trying to make something big happen and slipped it. That gave it the takedown to Penn State. Now he's trying to battle into a situation and not give up some back points. And Piercell's trying to make it happen.
Avery's trying to get that wrist free for
a good job
reversal here. If he can,
now he's got to work the hip.
Isn't able to secure his hip down. So
That was a pretty good fight.
Brian
staying
Piercell
off that
actually
near
comes right
fall
back up on top.
situation.
So now he's a leg ride, but a cradle. Some guys, man, this is a great
Fight
position
those
for
battles.
him. But
Fight that
he grabs
battle.
a leg.
Avery's got it. Come on, turn it, Avery. Come on. Got to fight that near fall. Get on the elbows. That's points scored. That's not now. He's too high. Now it's 1, 2, 3. Come on. Avery's got to break those hands, not let him adjust that pinning combination. Not a good place to be. Get out of there.
That lock, if you see, is real high up around his neck. It's hard to hold a guy, and much less in a near fall position. So Avery actually was right on the cusp of being in a good position to take him to his back, but
it was close. But Penn State
readjusted that down lower.
Penn State won those scrambles, and that gives them a lead, 5-0. We got 1:10 left in the first round.
That is where you see the level of competition is in those scramble positions where, okay, we're both in an athletic, where we can show our athletic prowess in an athletic situation, and it's 50-50. Penn State is winning the majority of those just with their scramble abilities and scramble positions. So,
well, it could be that Avery was a little pumped. Mangum goes out, wins that. He probably saw an opportunity. He didn't need to hit a head throw at the first 10 or 15 seconds, but he thought he saw something or felt the pressure in such a way that he thought he could make it work, and it didn't. And that put him down, and now he's got to battle out of that. So not a good beginning for Gardner. I think he's able to represent better than what we're seeing right away. Got to look for that arm, watching pressure on it.
Flattens him out there with a leg ride. Riding tough here. We're coming down to the last seconds, 14 seconds of the first round. Avery looking to get a point.
I think at this point he wants just a new start. Like to have that 3 minutes back.
Oftentimes that makes a huge difference. As we come to the end of the match, or excuse me, end of the round, is just maybe get a fresh start where I can clear the air, blow it up off the bottom.
Avery wants to go neutral. Piercell wants to go neutral. All right. We like neutral. Let's see it without the slipped head throw.
Avery with heavy hands right there. Made that first contact. I talked about that earlier. Nice shot in there by Avery.
There we go.
Piercell jumps on an interesting scramble situation.
Man, that was good wrestling there. Jumps into that, throws the leg in from a standing position, immediately into a body ride. You got to know that's coming to handle that. That was amazing.
That's a unique way to scramble off of a nice high C shot, is to actually, instead of throw your hips back and defend, he throws his hips straight into him and says, okay, we'll scramble in here and I'll get a leg ride. Interesting.
That was really interesting.
Avery's looking to free hand, stand up in a tripod position. There's this headlock.
Don't give up the clip, don't give up the grip, don't give up the cradle. Onto his feet, working hand fight now.
Hand control here. He lifts him, brings him back to the mat.
Piercell's got to bring him down. Piercell's got to bring him down. Well, 7-0. That's not what Avery thought was going to happen. But it ain't over.
No, it's not. And Avery, even in these down positions, he's right up to his feet. Piercell is doing a good job at returning him to the mat and riding tough. Steps in front, swings him back down.
Likes that leg. There you go. That's that Pennsylvania Eastern wrestling on the mat. Like to be in that position. Comfortable there. Avery, a product of Boise, Idaho Centennial High School.
Here's this leg ride to cradle again. We saw this in the first round. Tough because you're throwing hip down. Here he comes over Avery again. A high lock. But Avery's not able to adjust out of that. Perhaps look for a way to fight that hand lock. Avery gets back to his knees, and Piercell scores that 3 near fall at the end of the second round here.
And we're down 10. Both wrestlers ranked in the top 30, 25-30. so evenly there. But Piercell is able to throw that crossbody and that leg right, pick up those back points. He's doing a good job with it. We're not winning the position. See what we can do in this third round. Down 10, minute 50 left.
Well, in the first round and in the second round, Avery Gardner actually does a good job at initiating, being the initiator of moves. First round, we're in head-to-head. Avery sees an opportunity for us for a throw, ends up slipping it, gives up that takedown. Second round has a nice high C shot, just like he has here. Interesting way that Piercell scrambles here. Avery, nice job, locks up.
There it is. That's what we need to see.
And Avery has had that. Avery has had that. Second round, interesting scramble, but I think Avery could really work there. He's got a big deficit to overcome here in the minute 13 left in the third period.
He needs to see if he can work the tie, or we got to get back on our feet and see if we can go from there. He's going to let him go. Get back on his feet, see if he can catch him, get it to his back. He's got to make up some points, which means with a minute left in the match, I really need to get him on his back and finish it, right?
That's true.
And of course, Penn State at this point, I can say kind of relaxed and just protect myself. And
nice
he's got to come get me.
Stuff in the head. Piercell's doing that, but Avery's able to lift that up. Not easy to do. He's got a hand, so Avery's fighting one leg with one arm, but ends up coming to a double.
Good job.
We go out of bounds.
Nice fight. It's good wrestling. It's good wrestling. I'd like to see him wrestle again.
I would. You know, and there's a lot to say. Piercell is definitely good in the top position. Actually able to go from a leg right. Nice takedown by Avery. There's a lot to be said with the ability of Piercell to wrestle well on top. Avery really has. Piercell's warned for stalling. Avery's got a
20 seconds.
Good pace going here on his feet.
Well, Piercell does a nice job with the ride and the turns. He picks up 10 there and 2 escapes. And all of his takedowns were off of our initiation. So he's got that counter wrestling going to a level that we're there again. It's that next level. It's consistency in those positions. Good action, but we lose it. You're watching Utah Valley versus Penn State on the UVU TV network. Stay with us. The big one's coming up.
Come join the student section and cheer for the mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
If you're serious about going to college and getting a head start on the process, come get a feel for what university life is like. UVU Days are designed with you in mind. UVU Days are department-specific events held on Saturdays that will allow you to become a student for a day. These events are free and breakfast and lunch are served. For more information, dates, and times, please visit our website at www.uvu.edu/future students. Come experience what UVU has to offer in your field of study.
Well, I guess I really got green fever when, I found out how Utah Valley University can get me a great education because...
Are you here for zombies? This is green fever. Zombies meets down the hall, room 1023.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Well, once again, we're staying good. We're watching Avery Gardner get in on a good single leg.
Nice outside single leg.
Nice
single leg
finish.
steps inside and sweeps it down for the end of that match. Avery really started turning it up with the takedowns, and as you can see, Piercell was tired, and Avery had him on his heels. Unfortunately, not enough to come back and secure that victory, but Avery came alive in the last third round there.
As you look at the team score, we're down 33-30, but we're in good company because these guys are whipping everybody like this. But what I like is that we're staying competitive. Now here's the one everybody came to see. Josh Wilson, number 12. And he is wrestling the #1 wrestler in America at 149 pounds from Penn State, Frank Molinaro, a senior versus a junior, and this could be solid wrestling. Because the thing I like about Josh is when it's tough, he just gets tougher. Let's see what he can do.
Well, and that's it. Josh has a unique style in that he can get in there and battle. He's short, he's strong, and low to the mat. Molinaro has similar build, and this will be interesting to see. You got two highly ranked wrestlers, #1 and number 14 here in the nation. We'll see how this turns out. This is within the grasp where you can really see maybe pull an upset here. We'll see. You got to wrestle smart.
He does have to wrestle smart. He's got to match move for move, and the thing that's impressive about Penn State is the quickness. I mean, they don't stay anywhere at one time, and they just move, and they move like cats. It's like watching a spider on a mirror when two good ones are at it. And so we'll see what Josh can do. A beautiful shot by Molinaro. Josh countering that pretty well. Good scramble, don't give up on it. Continuing to go, Molinaro battles in, picks up the 2 takedown, leg in immediately. Likes to work that leg tough up on the high side, get up above the knee, tight in there. Lock, that's tough to get out of that. So Molinaro's working on the hip, trying to create a lock, turn that over. How do you break that? What's Josh got to be doing at this point?
Well, Josh got to try and work his left hip to the mat. See how he turned it down, try to crawl forward, working. He can get his knee to the mat. A good leg rider, you'll see his opponent's knee will be up in the air, and just as you can see, Josh's knee is up. He's going to try and slip that knee through.
Now it's loosened up. Now the lock, instead of being up high on the thigh, down, of course, to the knee. Nobody's turning. That's a stalemate situation. So now we'll see if Josh can break out of that on the whistle.
I like that call, especially because a good leg rider can really eat up a lot of time, where in college you have this riding time where if I ride a guy for a minute or more, I score an extra bonus point at the end of the match.
And he's eating up time without actually working the fall or improving himself.
So he goes from a low leg ride here. He rides that leg ride down at the knee. And that's actually one of the best places to have that leg ride is down far.
And he's brutal with that. He wants to get that in, get him stretched, get Josh stretched out. Josh, of course, trying to battle up and build a base. Now we're back in the same situation. Josh trying to keep the hip down and not turn. Molinaro's got good strength. Josh needs to catch that. That would have been a helpful thing.
Well, and that's it. Josh, as the match goes on, I imagine Coach Williams is going to be yelling to him, hey, you know where it's coming in. Every time it's came in on this left side, he goes for a leg ride, but it's a low leg ride down on the lower thigh, so be ready for that. A lot of guys will get into a leg ride in a different way. Some guys will pull you back and then put a leg in, or drive you forward and put a leg. Nice, right at the last, Josh Wilson's not able. He knee slide up, and that's where you get up, put pressure back in your opponent and slide forward, able to create some space and get out. Molinaro actually able to jump on that ankle right at the last.
Greg wants to talk to the official. I'm sure that the question is, how long do we get to go to that same ride without trying to turn? How long do we get to go there again and again? And we're watching the replay here.
Nice knee slide up. He goes to kick out. Molinaro's able to just grab on those shoelaces and hold on for those last few seconds. Unfortunately, I think in a scrambled situation, Josh Wilson actually scrambles well there. Give him 5 more seconds. Josh scores that escape point to get out.
All right, Utah Valley start with we're just down 2-0, beginning of the second round. Josh Wilson versus the #1 kid in the nation of Frank Molinaro.
Again, that leg comes
going in, looking at that. Boy, you got to be working on your yoga to do that stuff.
Well, that's a move you see a lot, even maybe in high school. Leg ride to what they call a banana split. Josh's flexibility actually saves him there because he's actually able to flex through it and come back to his base.
But here's my question. We're battling tough. We're keeping our hip down. He's not turning us.
Well, the ref looks at that, and they got to look at what position are you in, and how can I turn him. So the ref's going to say, okay, I'm not going to let him sit there.
See, that's the second stalemate. Same position. At what point? Because the rule states that repeatedly going to the same thing amounts to stalling at some point. And so, I mean, I'm sure he's got other tools, but he's throwing the leg in, hanging in there tough.
Well, we'll see.
We're battling.
We'll see. I've seen it twice where an excessive amount of time is taken. Josh does a good job of just sitting out. Throws the leg, that leg again. He just pinch on that left side. You can tell that's his dominant side. Josh is feeling that come in now, and so the second he starts feeling it come in, he actually kicks. Here's this banana split position again. Look for Molinaro to secure that and lock that down around Josh's shoelaces. That's where it gets tough. Josh kicks out, but now we're flat again.
I guess in Division I, they let that go.
Well, if I'm a ref, I'm looking at, okay, he's in a position where he can score, but nothing's scoring.
And then the age-old cat calls are starting to come out. What's the top guy doing? And my question is, what is he doing? That's the third time we've gone to a stalemate. And see, what Josh is doing is he's keeping that hip down. He's not allowing that turn. So Josh is doing a great job. But he's getting pulled. We don't need an injury here. That's tough to deal with. Molinaro's tough on that.
Well, when you get a guy that Grammy roll here, just to put a scramble position on Molinaro, is actually able to come off on that Iowa ride. He goes from an Iowa ride to step over into that leg ride, so he's good at riding that left side. When you got a guy, here he goes again, as Molinaro locks on the shin, look over to slide it down. The closer you get down to the ankle, the more leverage you can get. 8 seconds left here in the second round. Close time here, darn it. Able to put Molinaro onto his hip. Molinaro signals that he wants to choose down in the third round. This is a match you got to look at. Molinaro's rode Josh Wilson pretty tough, so you got to look at it as a 3-0 match. It's still a close match. Josh Wilson can pull something out. One near fall, 5th count near fall. We're tied up.
Well, I see Molinaro. I'd like to see more. I mean, he's tough. There's no question. Comes to his feet
here. Josh reaches up through for a bone out.
That's going to go away.
Score is 3-0.
Well, Molinaro's a brick. There's no question about that.
Really strong.
Oh, nice shot.
Nice. He just elevate that underhook to a nice shot. Unfortunately, again, wrestling on the edge of the mat. Josh looks like he's still, you know what, I'm mentally in this. Let's see what he can turn out here in the next minute, 30 seconds here in the third period.
Well, fatigue coming in, and altitude too. We haven't talked about that. These guys aren't used to being at 40,000 or 4,000 feet, 42, whatever we are here.
4,200.
So Molinaro's pretty. I mean, he's certainly a conditioned athlete, but maybe there'll be an opportunity. Last minute we got. See what we can get done. We need to get in there and get at least 2. Nice shot.
Nice.
That
was great. Josh holding on.
That was great.
Brings him down, returns him to the mat. 2-point takedown. Score is 5-0.
There again, the quickness is what's impressive. 40 seconds remaining.
Now again, he's got his, the ref, I'm not sure. He's had his leg trapped there, riding parallel. I think if I was reffing, I would have probably wanted to get a little bit more action, demand a little more out of Molinaro. But I mean, he's got the match control. He's winning 5-0.
20 seconds remaining. Josh continuing to battle. Molinaro content to hang in and hold his positions. Just battle back. And 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Josh is doing a good job. 3 seconds. 2 and 1. That's pretty tough stuff. I bet Josh would like a shot at him again. And there again, you know what I liked? They looked at each other. Here we go again. We're looking at a shot.
Deep shot. And you see where that comes from. If you watched his hands, they were heavy. He released. Josh's head came up a little bit. Nice deep high C to a double leg. Lifts him, returns him to the mat for a 2-point takedown.
Well, here we go. Final match of the night. We're at 157 pounds. Napoleon Anasiete from
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, wrestling for Utah Valley. His opponent, currently ranked number 6, Dylan Alton. Boy, they just bring out one horse after another, don't they?
Nice outside single leg shot. He brings it up to an elevated, they call it a treetop here, where you bring it up to your shoulder and then he reaches to a sweep. But Napoleon does a good job at turning and around and locking here on the waist and back of his thigh to keep a scramble position alive.
You know, a couple years ago we wrestled Boise State.
We got 2 takedowns.
Actually, three years ago we wrestled Boise State, and the same kind of night. We lost most of the matches, won 1 or 2. Lost most of the matches, but we battled with them. And at that point, they were clearly a level ahead of us. The last 3 years, we have beaten Boise State twice of the 3. And so we're coming. We're you know, our momentum is up. It's moving up. Because I like the fact that we're battling in these matches. We're going with them. We're losing the positions and ultimately losing the matches. But they're not blowing us out the doors.
Well, and I gotta say this: you gotta know that Coach Williams, Coach Rock, Coach Sheds Menhoff from Utah Valley University, we're very aware of these little. And you watch wrestling, and it's the littlest things that you adjust, tweak, and improve on that make the biggest difference in matches. Napoleon's actually able to score a takedown here. Napoleon out of Las Vegas, Nevada, young freshman wrestler here. He is extremely athletic, strong for his weight class, his size, and you know, score a takedown there. I can honestly say, as we've said this before, as these young wrestlers learn, okay, here's how I can use my athletic prowess and combine it with my technique and my conditioning, we're going to start to see these kids really compete well.
And I agree with that, because we're seeing the talent now. Our recruiting class actually was the number 11 of all college recruiting.
And hopefully listeners understand, that means every Division I program, UVU has a number 11 recruiting class. We had these guys out of Las Vegas.
The Rousers out of Montana.
The Rousers out of Montana. Two twins out of Alabama. The Cuspersons, which is interesting. UVU has two sets of twins on the team here.
So I believe that the guys are in the room, but we're not. You know, it's that consistency. And after we get finished here, please stay with us, because we're going to get Coach Williams, and we're going to visit with him a little bit about what he sees that we can do moving forward and what he takes away from this evening. 4-2 match. Penn State's controlling, 2 takedowns. Napoleon's able to get away twice, but Alton's certainly controlling the pace of things. Takes a nice shot, nice
down
recovery.
block.
There you see the quickness.
You watch
Napoleon
the quickness.
can go
Both
with
these guys quick. Yeah, and that's
Napoleon
the thing.
can go with it.
I think as Napoleon develops, it's going to be him saying, you know what, I am there. I'm quick enough. I'm strong enough.
Well, and some
my
of that
technique is good enough.
Some of that's the confidence that comes. I mean,
I agree.
You've got to believe that there's a vision statement about why those guys at Penn State are in that room, why they're there being coached by Cody Sanderson. You know, the star power of who he is.
Cale Sanderson, too.
And Cale Sanderson, thank you. The star power of what's going on in the room and the quality of guys that they've got in the program. The score does not reflect what I've seen this evening. Or maybe it does.
Well, I would have to say it does and it doesn't. You look at, and wrestling's one of those sports where it's you either win and score points or you don't. And so a match is you could have an entire night where one team actually ends up winning all the matches, but in reality, all the matchups could be close, and you see that a lot with wrestling. Yeah, oh, here we go with Dylan Alton.
Alton's just going to step out, see if he
comes out to the top, and obviously comfortable with this position, coming off to a front headlock underhook to some kind of a throw
see if
here.
he could put Napoleon right on his back and put an exclamation point on this. Second round, minute 35 remaining. Scores 4-2 in favor of Penn State. There's an escape, 4-3.
Scores 3-4 for Napoleon in the city. UVU scored 3 and got a shot in here on the edge of the mat. Scramble situation. Napoleon pulls him out. Referee says, no, we're not out of bounds yet. We're going to still scramble. Napoleon's locked in the crotch. They're looking for either a stalemate or perhaps we go out of bounds. Referee says, no, let's go out. Good job there. I hope we could see Napoleon open up a little bit more here with shots, using his athletic prowess, the quickness to get in on something. Short time, well, a minute left here in the second round.
Well, and Alton's just a redshirt freshman. He's pretty young, a lot of wrestling in front of him as well. So it's not all about chronological age, it's about ability and skill levels within the sport.
Yep. Deep shot here. Nice shot. Gets it deep, locks up behind his legs, and drives right through.
Now we're down 3, Utah Valley. Penn State commanding, starting to control things here. Just stay solid, don't they? Yeah. And we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining. And we're watching this little scramble here.
Right on the edge of
Napoleon's
the mat.
trying to elevate. Back to the mat we go. Alton does a good job of collecting and returning.
But
Alton escapes.
I think that's a place where UVU shows their youth, is the inability to ride tough on top. If you watch a lot of these young guys, they'll ride 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds in the period, and the guys stand up and go, okay, we'll let them go. We'll wrestle on our feet. And lots to be said when you can ride a guy tough and keep him down.
Minute 30 remaining in the night.
Shot right on the whistle.
There's Alton trying to roll it back into a pinning combination. Napoleon's got to watch out for his back. He kicks out of that, goes back flat. Alton on top. Minute 10. Alton's going to release. One escape, looking for a takedown again. Napoleon.
Napoleon's had a decent position there, being in front on a headlock, but he had that back ankle secured. There he goes again.
Nice job. Nice recovery to a takedown. Picks up 2. 6-9 match, down 3. Napoleon's got 43 seconds, and he gets a little high.
Goes for a high half.
Gets a little high, gets in trouble, gives back the 2. So now we're 11-6, 5-point advantage for Penn State. "25 seconds. Out of bounds, 20 seconds.
Napoleon scores that escape. 4-point match right now, 20 seconds left. Nice double leg.
Shot. Nice takedown there again. 9-11. Gonna run out of time. 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 2, 1. There's a buzz.
I gotta say something. That right there is the number 6 ranked guy in the nation, and we got Napoleon, a true freshman out of Las Vegas. That's a tough match. 9-11 right at the last, and you know what? It's there. I gotta say it's there.
It is there. And that concludes it. We're looking at the replay
Right
of the
at the
shot.
last.
Nice shot. Napoleon in on that shot. Kicks it over. Picks up 2 as we end it. So the match, the final score is 9-12 with riding time. But it's a nice job, Utah Valley. Even though we lose it 40-3, we still pick up an opportunity to learn where we're at, and see what we can do, and see what it's like against the very best guys. We wish that you stay with us. We will be back.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom.
At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician? A mechanic? Or a scientist? Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
This is Mike Lapery. I'm here with Coach Greg Williams. Coach, what do you take away from tonight?
You know, one of the reasons we scheduled the type of or the level of competition that we did is to take a group of talented wrestlers that are real young and get them to understand what it takes to get to this level. Penn State showed why they're probably the best team in the country. They have a ton of talent. And, you know, they obviously are a much better team than us right now. But I saw some really great things in some of the matches.
We went full match, everything but one.
Well,
and I think there was some brilliance. I mean, Sam and I really were excited about what we were seeing.
Yeah, you know, some of our guys did some of the best things they've done all year. We saw that a week ago with Cal Poly and Stanford. We wrestled and battled. But
I like the fact that you and I talked before we watched as we roll some tape here on the match tonight. There's a consistency that you want to see. How do you develop that? What's it take? Because we've now seen the top guys. We know we can go with them. We know we walk off alive after we've seen them.
Yeah.
How do you build that in?
Well, you have to have lots of repetitions, and then you also have to be able to take those repetitions and put them out in the matches against good kids. You know, it doesn't do us any good to wrestle kids that we can beat and not realize what it takes to be able to set up a really good kid. The thing that was encouraging here was, you know, there were wrestling guys who were ranked really high, and we're taking them down every once in a while. Now, when we can create that all through the match and shut them down where we're making mistakes and hanging our hands too long, we're going to be fine, and that's what they need to see. And we'll get back in the room. They'll have a better idea of what it looks like, and we'll get repetitions with it. That's what we did before, and that's what we'll do with these guys, and they will get better.
What does it mean? How does it help us In what way are we helped by seeing this level of competition? I mean, the event's great. It's a great crowd. People are excited to be here. But what do you take away as a coach, and how does this experience help you build the program?
Well, for the guys who actually accomplished, takedowns and felt like they were wrestling in the match, they know they can compete. The ones who didn't, they've got to go back to work. And so our job is to make sure that they don't take it in a way that they can't improve from it. And so there's a lot of mental part of this, a lot of emotional stuff we have to deal with to make sure that they can handle taking a loss like this and still improve. Monty and Ethan, who are two really good wrestlers, both ended up getting handled pretty well, and against a couple of really good kids. But we need to get them focused on what they need to learn from it, and they will. They'll do that. And when you look at the score, it doesn't look good. But we won a match. There's another match at 97 that we had a great chance to win. We made a dumb mistake and tried to force something while we're ahead. We had a couple other matches where our guys were doing well towards the end of the match, 41 and at 57 with young guys, and they will improve, and we will be able to build confidence with this.
Well, I think we saw flashes of brilliance. I thank you personally and as a fan for what you're doing here, and we appreciate you that you brought in a team like this, and thank you. I'm with Coach Greg Williams. Follow us on uvu.edu. You've been watching the Wolverines wrestling against Penn State. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.